Hello, Renee.
Hello, Kylie.
It's very nice meeting with you today.
Nice meeting with you today.
Thank you for taking the time to be here with me today. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
So, to get started, I'm here with you today because I'm very intrigued to hear about your work at Kroger and discover what your needs are in the workplace.
Yes.
I recently heard about your promotion as drug general manager. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
How has that been so far?
A lot.
I can imagine.
Yes. I have a much heavier workload, but a pay increase, so it kind of compensates for sure of the heavy workload. I have a good team that works underneath me, and I have a great team of managers to support me in my new role. So, yes.
Amazing. Well, thank you for sharing that with me. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for asking.
I have a few questions for you. Is it okay if I take some notes?
Absolutely.
Okay. To get started, I want to know what type of system do you currently use at your Kroger for pricing management?
We actually have a paper system in a sense for our price changes that occur twice a week. We get boxes that are sent via FedEx. Our file maintenance team does a very good job with getting that box, which some days is a huge box of sheets of price changes that run through the whole store. And they separate them by department and then are given to each department, and then we are responsible to hang those.
Okay, so seems like a very long task.
Yes, very much so.
Based on Kroger's website, I've noticed that your company runs a great deal of promotions.
Yes.
How often do you have to update these prices?
Now, for me in my department is a little bit different than the rest of the stores because I have a seasonal aisle. So my seasonal aisle is nothing that is planogrammed every day. So it is consistently changing, with product that comes in. Once the customer buys it, then we have to put out more. And so each time that happens, we have to reprice that set item. So it's not just, one done on the shelf and that is always there. It is always changing. So it can be a lot of extra work for sure.
Right. On average, how much time would you say that you and your employees spend on updating these prices?
A lot. So like I said, we are, in that aisle because we get product, and our aisle, a lot of times you kind of compare it as something perishable. It may not be perishable in the sense of refrigeration.
Of course.
But we only have a short time per that season to sell that product. So it's a lot of, putting that product out. And once that product sells through, I've got to put more product out. And when that product gets put back out, then I'm making a whole new price tag. And, some days I'm making new tags multiple times a day in that aisle of, if something sells out, then we got to replace it. And guess what? That requires a whole nother tag because that does not come in pre-made. Those tags get made within the store.
All right.
Which is a process.
Would you mind actually taking me through the process of updating the shelves? What does that look like?
Absolutely. So they are shelf tags that get printed up in our office on our just basic store printer. We have devices that they're a Zebra, they call it, but it's like a little Android handheld. We scan the item, then you go through the steps on that machine to print the tag. We then have to go upstairs, log into another device, and go through multiple steps to get to the final spot where we then insert the correct sign stock and tags that we have to use then to print. A lot of steps just to get to
very long
price.
System, it seems. Do customers ever complain about this process or like the printed tag, shall I say?
Yes, actually they do, unfortunately, and we hate for that to happen, but it happens. A lot of times, you hang a tag and not realizing, because we don't scan them every day. So we miss things, and so a lot of times a shelf tag could be expired. The price, unfortunately, may have kicked out of the system and went back to the regular price, and and they see one price on the shelf and go to the register and it's a different price. So sadly it happens.
Well, that's interesting to know. Due to all of this continuous flow of new promotions, how does that affect your daily workload?
A lot, because a lot of times where we could be just being just concerned of putting that product out, going through it once it sells, running a promotion. The idea is to sell that product. But when you sell it and you sell it out and then you got to refill it, then you're stopping from just stocking the shelves for the customers. Then you have to stop and go. It just sometimes takes a lot of extra time taken away from other things.
Okay.
By doing that step, when I wish there was something easier to do.
Okay. So it delays this process quite a bit.
Yeah.
Does this affect your overall work environment around employees? Does it create negative employee attitudes?
Yes, sometimes it can. On weeks that we have big ads, big promotions, and there's an excessive amount of tags, like this past week, we had a workload of 40 hours just in price changes.
Really?
Yes. So that's,
wow.
A lot of people that sometimes we don't have to hang all those tags that we're responsible for.
For sure.
Yeah.
All right. Do you worry that this process essentially wastes quality time that could be spent on another important task?
Yes. On those heavy workloads, for sure. On
Of
days
course.
where it's a lot, it's taken away from, our daily tasks. So,
Okay.
if we could be doing more if we had something easier to do.
Fair said. Do you think that incorrect shelving prices negatively affects your overall reputation as Kroger and discourages customers to come?
It can, for sure. And, unfortunately, we have had some bad press recently with that. So it happens. We're only human, but sadly.
Okay. What could you be accomplishing if you did not have to waste time doing this doing this task?
That task, just, putting more product out there for the customers.
Okay.
Trying to make the customer shopping experience the most important.
All right. All about the customer.
Yes.
How would you feel if this time could be cut in half?
Oh my God, blessed.
Of course, I can
For
imagine. Definitely less late nights.
Yes, less late nights.
How would you personally prioritize your needs in the workplace? What is your number one need?
A better working system, I would say, for, pricing for our customers and for our associates.
For sure.
Yep.
So, if I am correct, your main priority is basically a more efficient system, a more efficient workplace. Is it accurate to assume that you would be interested in a product that could meet these goals of yours?
Absolutely.
I have a few questions for you. Are you in any position to make major decisions in your store?
I personally am not, but I have the means to getting to someone who is.
Okay. So if you think that would intrigue this sort of person, we could get a meeting with them as well and talk about potential budgets and what their needs are and what their main goals are, and do a meeting. So
Absolutely.
we can email each other, figure out a day that works best for the both of us.
Yes, and I will reach out.
Thank you again for taking the time to meet with me today.
Thank you, Kylie.